Your short biography of Sir Muhammad H. Alakot, PhD. Okay, Sir Muhammad H. Alakot, PhD. He is Assistant Professor, School of Education and Social Science, Management and Science University, Malaysia. He is a proficient Assistant Professor, Senior Interpreter and Researcher in Translation and Interpreting with more than 10 years of experience in international and bilingual setting. Currently, he is a senior lecturer and academic program manager of translation and interpreting and faculty research coordinator at the School of Education and Social Science, Management and Science University, Malaysia. Okay, sir, you have 15 minutes, sir. You have 15 minutes to present about your material or your PowerPoint. Because after that we have a question and answer section. So time is yours, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, my pleasure. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I hope there is no echo in my sound. Okay, for today, our discussion and my presentation is going to be about ETL, English language teaching, and the first and 21st century skills. As we all know, by just hearing and by just getting COVID-19 in 2019, just 2 years back, we start getting so many changes in our life. So most of our life has been changed, especially in terms of education, in terms of learning, in terms of employment, in terms of also of future careers, in terms of expertise. Everything has been changed, and all this is changed nowadays. We have a clear focus on the skills. So the more we focus on the skills, the more we will be able to get hired by the recruiters in the 21st century, and especially after COVID-19. So now, 21st century, it started with 2000, with the year of 2000. But however, after COVID-19, the whole world will be totally changed, not as before, or what we can say, comparing to before COVID-19. So most of the recruiters, most of the companies, most of the employments, most of the employers won't be the same status or in the same position as before COVID-19, meaning that most of the institutional companies, most of the higher education institutions won't be able to recruit more staff as before COVID-19, meaning that the more we go with COVID-19, the more we have to be well-rounded student, the more we need well-balanced student, meaning that every student in the future, after COVID-19, he has to be able to master many skills, not only educational skills, but also critical thinking skills, employability skills, resourceful skills. The student, he must hold several multi-diversity skills, meaning that the student is supposed to be open for many other features and of our life, meaning that this student after graduation is supposed to work in a diverse workplace, not only in one or two workplaces, meaning that yes, we will be having expertise. Yes, we will be having some kind what we say to be expert in your subject area. Yes, we do. We are going to have that, but also not only expertise in your subject, but you have to be expert in many other subjects and in many other fields. So let's have a look about the 21st century skills. First of all, we are going to speak about life and career skills, which is very prominent and very important. Learning and innovation skills, which one of the most critical skills that focus on critical thinking, and the problem solving skills. Also, we will be talking about information, media, and technology skills, which is very important. So our students supposed to have digital skills, supposed to know how to use the computer, how to use the smartphones, how to use any kind of digital devices in the future, not only to be able to use a smartphone or not limited also to be used by computer. Many other things are going to happen in the next few years. So all our students must be equipped with the future need. Also, core subject and 21st century themes. This is one of the most important themes we are going to speak about. So what are the core subjects that will be listed the same in the future, however, there will be slight changes to these core subjects. For example, English or whatever languages, English, Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, Malay, all these languages, yes, they are going to be there because the student will still need to learn about this language. However, most of these languages will not be the core focus of teaching after COVID-19, meaning that the student can learn these languages by smartphone, on the apps, by YouTube, meaning that no need to have existed teacher in the education institution. So the student can attend, for example, a course for learning Arabic for 3 or 4 or 5 months. Of course, the student won't be graduated from this 5 months course with a very fluent Arabic. But if he attended several courses, he will be able to speak Arabic same like native. So meaning that the courses, the online courses, whatever language, whatever subject expertise for these online courses, it's going to replace the role of the teacher. Of course, not 100%, but at least 70 to 80%. Meaning that in the future careers, in the future rate of employment, it's going to decrease or decline. Instead of having 100% rate of employment, most of the education institutions, they will be just using 50 to 60% of employability rate. So the other 40%, they will reduce it. They will crunch the teacher, meaning that you as a teacher, you need to teach. Of course, you need to teach with the normal way of teaching, but not with the traditional way of teaching. Because the mindset for the student, it's going to be changed, not as before COVID-19. So the way of teaching, how it's going to be. First of all, most of the education institution and higher education institution, not only in Malaysia, but also in Europe, and I believe also in Indonesia, in some institutions in Indonesia, they are following what we call the online teaching nowadays. Meaning that you as a teacher, me as a teacher, we are not going to follow the traditional way of teaching, to teach the student in the classroom. No way. That's not going to happen. Meaning that you are going to record your teaching, not only recording. You have to use digital skills during your recording. You have to use gestures. You have to use flipcharts. You have to use many things to attract the student to this way of teaching. Otherwise, no student will be engaged in your way of teaching. Meaning that if you are not going to use attractive flipchart, attractive figures, attractive drawing during your recording session for the class, the student won't be engaged with the way of teaching, with your style of learning. Meaning that the student will start looking for other lecturers, for other teachers in other universities, because those lecturers amuse them and attract them to their way, to their style of teaching. So as a lecturer, you have to master most of the digital skills. You have to know not only teaching, but you need also to understand Video editing. Video editing. You have to know how to do a montage for the video. So don't you think the university will ask you only you teach and we will do video editing? Yes, but not all university, they have the budget to do so. So they will ask you to teach and to edit the video. So you must be able to learn and to start learning from now how to edit the video, how to start your own recording and create it from A to Z until you make it available online for the student. Of course, there will be also subscriptions for the online teaching. It's not going to be free. We are not going to upload our videos on YouTube. We are going to have a paid subscription, either by our university or by the country. Maybe the country will be having a kind of initiative or project for the whole country. So all the university will be engaged in this website, and all the university will be having their own profile. So they can upload their classes, their courses, and the student can attend the courses and subscribe for whatever course he wish or he like. So meaning that our way of traditional, our rule of a traditional way of teaching is not going to continue anymore. Because nowadays, if you look to your classes, and if I look to my classes, instead of 40, 50 students in the class, I can have, for example, maybe 5, maybe 10 students, existed student. However, the rest are online. And since they are online, we can't attain the student, or we can't control the student at the same time. Some of them, they want to work. They want to have extra income, because most of their parents nowadays, they are not working, they are staying at home. So the student, they need to work, meaning that your way of teaching is supposed to be more flexible as in the current time. So the best way to do so is to record your session and upload it for the student, and the student, they can attend or subscribe or watch your session whenever they are free to do so. However, there are going to be subscription fees, which might be lower than the student current fees for each semester. It will be, of course, it will be lower. Why? It's going to be lower because there won't be facility fees. There won't be electricity fees. There won't be campus activity fees. All these will be deducted. So the student, they have to pay less because they are going for online. But there will be some maintenance fees, some IT fees, IT technician fees. So there will be a kind of balance between here and there. So the most subject or the most core subjects are going to be offered in the future, as we mentioned, English language and all other languages, world languages, arts, mathematics, economics, science, geography, history, government, and civics. These are the current subjects offered in most universities or in most schools even. There will be a kind of major changes for this subject. Some of these subjects, we still can offer it online without any changes to the content. We keep the same content. And furthermore, if we offer this subject online, it's going to be more attractive than on the current time or in the time being. Because in the time being, we are just using traditional way of teaching. We go to the classroom, we use the whiteboard or we use the chalkboard, and we start explaining the issue or the case to the student and discussing the issue with them without any kind of third-party attraction, like digital skills, like flip charts, like cards, like some graphics design. We can't use this in the traditional way of teaching. But if we are going to use online way of teaching, we can use these skills, which will make the student more attractive and feel enjoyment during watching the class or the subject. So schools must move to include not only a focus on mastery of core subject, but also to promote understandings of academic content as much higher levels by weaving 21st century interdisciplinary themes into core subjects, meaning that most of the subjects are going to offer for the online theme. Some subjects, it might be difficult to offer it for the time being or to move it to 100% to online, like for example, medicine, surgery, kind of these subject, which is a very big, it's difficult and it needs a kind of practical. The student can practice online, but of course, for such subject like medicine, like engineering, this subject is still the student need to come to campus or need to go to the lab in order to do the practice. So here also we are going to handle the global awareness, which most of our students in the future, they have to know these things. They have to understand what is a global awareness, what they need to understand about the global awareness, not only academic life, but they have to understand about the globe. What is the globe? What we need to understand about the global awareness, what is the climate change? Why we have to care about the climate change? All these things that our students must be able to understand it and must be able to think and to start generate ideas to solve these issues. So solving these issues is not only on the shoulder of the professors or scholars, it's also on the shoulders of the students. They have to contribute to find solution to these issues. Financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial literacy. The student must be able to understand all these kinds of issues. Civic literacy, yes, they have to understand it. They will be giving some information, some content, which will be provided by the university. Health literacy, the student must be able to understand health literacy. What is the diet? Why we have to care about our self-diet? Why we have to care about our well-being or wellness management? Why we have to care about obesity? Is it dangerous? Why we should care about obesity? How to handle obesity? They have to understand all these cases, all these things. Environmental literacy. They have to understand and they have to know about sustainability. Why our education is supposed to be sustainable? Why once we are going to provide solution for any case, our solution is supposed to be sustainable, meaning that not to be used for the current time. It's supposed to be used also for the future. So we have to look beyond our way of thinking. The student have to be the student have to understand how to think out of the box, how to understand out or beyond the way of thinking, traditional way of thinking. Because of that, we need to have well-rounded students who understand most of the global issues, not only the academic content. Oh, sorry. Okay. Here also we need to discuss about the bringing about the global awareness. The student should be able to bringing the outside world into the classroom. This is the role of ours as a lecturers or as a teacher. That we are going to bring the outside world into the classroom. How is that? Nowadays, everything can be changed due to globalization. We can have, for example, just like in the time being, I'm doing a kind of session sharing or a speech with a very far away university or a very, very far away academic institution in Indonesia. If I need to go there, maybe I need a few days or a few hours to go there. So it needs a lot of time, but just using the online, just in a click of a link, I can be there. This is what we mean by bringing the outside world into the classroom. We have to show the student some videos from the online. The student, they have to understand and be able to demonstrate the current world issues. They have to so this sorry, I think I was a mute. So the student must be able to understand the global issues, not only the academic issues, bringing the outside world into the classroom. For example, now I am attending a class, or yesterday I was attending a class in America about the global changes. If I need to go to America to attend the class, I need a few days and several hundred of hours to go there. However, just by clicking on a link, I was there and attending the class at the same time, live. This is what we mean by bringing the outside world into the classroom. We need to make the student able to understand what are the global changes, what is the future need, how the student they can contribute to the solving issues of climate change, how the student need to contribute to the issues of a decline in the cases of water pollution, air pollution. So we need to raise the awareness of the student about all these issues. So using 21st century skills to understand and address the global issues, learning from and working collaboratively with individuals representing diverse cultures, religions, and lifestyle in a spirit of mutual respect, open dialogue, and personal work and community context. Before, in the previous years, it was forbidden for the Christians or for the Buddhists to speak or to discuss any issue or any dialogue related to Islam. And it was also forbidden for the Christians to speak or to discuss or to sit in an open dialogue or open debate with someone about Islam and vice versa. Nowadays, everything becomes applicable. Most of the world become open-minded. It's okay, you can discuss whatever case about any religion in the world. It's okay. Since you are not degrading or speaking badly about the religion, about that religion, no one will give bad feedback about you. In the other world, most people will be able or encouraged to watch you and to give good comment, constructive comment. This is just a short example how we need to bring the outside world into the classroom. We need to make our student open-minded. We need to make our student able to understand the future situation, the future trends, the future challenges. This is very important. Financial, economic, and business literacy. You have to give something to get something. This is what we mean by financial, economic, and business literacy. For example, nowadays, most of the world is speaking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchains, which we have never ever heard about it. Just 5 years back, we have never imagined that cryptocurrency will control most of the economic in the world, maybe by 2021 or 2022. You can see maybe if you have heard about the cryptocurrency or what we can call blockchain or Bitcoins or Ethereum or many of other cryptocurrency or digital currencies. Nowadays, one currency can cost around 50 to 60 USD. Only 1 point, one currency.
Hello, sir. So sorry. Your time is only 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
So this is very important. So we have to educate our students about all these issues. So civic literacy, also we are a part of democracy and have our own voice. So being an informed citizen to participate effectively in government and all these things. Health literacy, so the student must understand, as we mentioned earlier, about diabetes, about physical health, mental health, including nutrition, exercises, or well-being, all these things the student must be able to understand. So we create waste, and waste takes space. So the student must understand about pollution growth, pollution development, resource consumption. All these the student must be able to understand. How the students are going to understand? Of course, through the teacher, by the teacher. So meaning that the teacher, he need to be well-rounded the student. He need to be master of many skills and many fields in order to teach the student, or to make this student well-rounded and well-balanced student. And these are the elements, as we mentioned. So life and career skills. This is going to be the most important skills for the future. Learning and innovation skills, information, media, and technology skills. These also some of the life career skills. So the last slide, I'm going to discuss briefly here. What are the 21st century support system? What are the support system we need if we need to provide the student with all these skills? So we need to have 21st century standard by the government. Assessment of the 21st century skills. We need to assess each skills to make sure, does the student benefit from these skills or not? The 21st century curriculum and instruction. Last but not least, 21st century professional development. So in order for the student to be able to master all these skills, the teacher, he needs to be mastered at first. That's all for today. And wish you all the best. If you have any question, I'm ready to go for it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your amazing presentation today. Okay, the key point of your presentation about the digital skills. So we are, as a teacher or as a lecturer, not only use digital or technology in teaching, but also use digital skill. What is digital skill? Because digital skill is we use the gesture, we use the way how to motivate our student, how we attract your student, our student, to make our student is now about the everything, and now about the what we have want to do of our student. Okay, the second point is about school must move to include not only a focus on mastery of core subject, but also promote understanding of academic content. The key point of your presentation. Okay, we have some questions, sir. We have some questions for you in the chat room. I will read one by one. Okay, the first question is, can be the role of teacher changed by technology utilization in this era? Thank you.
Can the role of teacher be changed by using, again?
It can be the role of teacher changed by technology utilization in this era, sir.
Okay. The short answer to this question, the role of teacher is going to be the same, but it's going to be improved, not to change. The teacher is still a teacher, but his way of teaching needs to be changed. The style of teaching needs to be changed. The teacher is still a teacher. We are not going to change the teacher. He's going to be a teacher, but the way of teaching, the style of teaching needs to be changed. Otherwise, he won't be engaged in the future careers.
Okay, good explanation, simple and truly. Okay, the second question, sir, from Memrita Indrawati. The question is how to teach these two topics in the 21st century learning to make learners have more care of the crucial issues.
Again, the question again?
Okay, the question is how to teach these two topics in the 21st century learning to make our students more care about the crucial issues today.
Okay, how to teach it?
Yes.
This is very good.
Yes. The key point, how to teach our student.
This is the core of my explanation. In order to teach the student, of course, the teaching is going to be online and offline. Most of the teaching is going to be not only online and offline, because some students won't be able to have the digital devices to go online. We will be having some issues unless the government interfere and help to support those students doesn't have digital devices to go online. So the way of teaching is still the same, but I mean here, in order to be able to teach effectively, you as a teacher, you must understand most of the digital skills in order to be able to teach it. And the student, in order to attract the student to the way of teaching, number one is the way of the teacher is teaching, the methods the teacher is teaching, the attractive points. For example, the charts, the diagrams, the figures, all these things will attract the student. Using also what we call, I forget the term. Okay, using videos, for example. Let me just simplify it. Using videos during your presentation. Normally, as we all understand, watching taking around 70 to 65 to 70% of the student learning, meaning that the student, when you watch something, he will understand it and keep in his future for long term, better than hearing it. Because of that, in the kindergartens, in the schools, in the kindergarten levels, they are using the flip chart with the student. For example, they are saying apple and showing the photo of the apple. So the student will be able to merge with the name with the photo. Otherwise, the student will never learn. Because of that, using video in the future way of teaching will be one of the most and core component of teaching. Because the student will be able to learn faster from watching the videos. For example, you as a teacher, you can show them a problem, demonstrate a problem, video about the problem, and ask the student to solve this problem. You can watch the video just for a few minutes, 5 minutes, watch the video and understand the problem from the video, then you need to provide solution. 100 times better than when you as a teacher explain the problem. When you give the student the normal way of teaching, you give them the instructions or the guidelines for the problem and ask them to provide solution. 100 times better when you ask them to watch the video, see the problem by their eyes, understand it, then they provide solution.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your explanation. Okay, because time is up for our...
Excuse me, I have question,
yes?
please.
Oh,
Doctor.
yes, thank you, Dr. Suraya Al...
Andi.
Oh,
Okay.
Andi. Okay,
I am Andi
okay.
Sadapoto.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I still confused about the 21 centers assessment that emphasized in actually I still confused about the assessment. Actually, what is the difference between assessment and test? Okay, because it is not clear in your explanation. And then according to Jeremy Harmer, that a continuous assessment is more applicable than others. Okay, what do you think about this point? Okay, thank you.
Again, your question again, please.
My question is actually what is the difference between assessment and test? Okay.
Okay. Only this is your question.
Okay. Actually, based on Jeremy Harmer's opinion that continuous assessment is more applicable to get the real value of the students than apply the others. Okay, what do you think about this point?
Yes, indeed, that's correct. Yeah, that's right. Because when we speak about test, you test the student for the current subject or for the current field of study. But when you assess them, you are not going to assess the student for the subject. You are going to assess the student for the skills in this subject and general skills, not only for the content of the subject. When you test them for the content. You can't bring something out of the content and test them. Otherwise, the student will not answer it. The student will fail in this such test. Because the test, when you test the student, the meaning of test, you need to provide the content, and after that, test them about the content. Have they understand it or not? Are the students able to discuss the content in different way or not? Are the students able to answer your questions or not? This is the way of test. But assessment, you are assessing the student for the skills used in the classroom outside the classroom, meaning that the normal human way of thinking. For example, you need to provide some problems and understand how the student can provide some solution to this problem. So by doing so, you will be able to understand and see what is the individual differences between your student. This student have a clear thinking skills, clear critical thinking skills, but other students, if they fail in such situation, they can't find a proper solution, or they will look to the same problem from different angle. This is what we need to assess.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir Alakot, for your explanation. Okay, because time is up for Sir Alakot, so we go to the next guest speaker of this virtual mega lecture talk. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir Alakot, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your knowledge. Thank you so much for everything. Okay, we go to our third guest speaker for today, Ma'am Dian Riani Said, MPD. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Mama.
Okay, ma'am. I will read your short biography first. Yes. Okay, Ma'am Dian Riani Said, MPD. She is a lecturer in Muhammadiyah University of Bone, Indonesia. She pursued her undergraduate program in English department at STKIV Muhammadiyah Bone. Then she received her graduate program in English department in State University of Makassar. She is the member of APS-PBI, which is an association of English department. She served as head of English department of University of Muhammadiyah Bone. Besides, she is a lecturer in IAIN Bone. Okay, ma'am, you have 15 minutes. 15 minutes to present your PowerPoint or your material in that third day. Okay, ma'am, time is